The Supreme Court has pulled up the Enforcement Directorate and said that the concept of PMLA cannot be to ensure that a person remains in jail, directing that Indian Telecommunication Service officer Arun Pati Tripathi be released on bail. A bench said that the concept of Prevention of Money Laundering Act cannot be to ensure that a person should remain in jail. They also said that PMLA is being used like a dowry law.
Well, yes, today, in fact, the Supreme Court has made this very strong observation against the misuse of PMLA and has said that it appears that now PMLA is being used like the dowry law, the section 498. To recall that this particular section has been under scanner for quite some time now for being misused in marital disputes to frame false charges against in a marital dispute against aggrieved spouse. So today the Supreme Court has in fact compared the use of PMLA to use of dowry law, which in itself is a very big observation from the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court made this observation while granting bail to a Chhattisgarh excise officer who has been accused in a money laundering case in liquor policy scam. The Supreme Court, while granting him bail, also said, reprimanded ED and said that the ED cannot keep someone in jail forever just by using the PMLA.
Now, the Supreme Court also expressed its disapproval of Bombay High Court judgment that employed misogynistic language against a woman whose marriage was declared void, referring to her as illegitimate wife or faithful mistress. The court also noted that such adjectives were not used by the High Court for husbands in void marriages.
Well, yes, today, in fact, in a very big judgment, the Supreme Court has held that permanent alimony and interim maintenance can be claimed in cases of void marriages as well. The Supreme Court, while answering this very crucial question of law today, has made this very strong remark and has expressed its disapproval of a Bombay High Court judgment that had employed this misogynistic language against a woman whose marriage was declared void, referring to her as an illegitimate wife or a faithful mistress. So the Supreme Court today took a strong exception of this remark while passing this very crucial judgment and said that calling a woman an illegitimate wife or a faithful mistress will amount to a violation of fundamental rights of the woman under Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Describing a woman by using these words is against the ethos and ideals of the Constitution, the Supreme Court today said while passing this very crucial judgment that defines the law under the that who can claim alimony and interim maintenance under the Hindu Marriage Act. So previously the question of law that the Supreme Court was facing, that can permanent alimony and interim maintenance can also be claimed in cases of void marriages, or should it be only restricted to marriages where the question was of divorce. So a void marriage, to make it more clear, is a marriage that is unlawful or invalid under the laws of the jurisdiction where it is entered, and a void marriage is invalid from the beginning, so it is not even a marriage. So the question before the court was whether in such cases can there be claim of alimony, permanent alimony, or interim maintenance while the case was pending in the court, while the court decides on the legality of the marriage. So today the Supreme Court, while holding that court by using its while using its discretionary powers, can in fact grant such a relief even if the marriage is void. That means that a wife can still claim permanent alimony and interim relief, interim maintenance while the case is on, while the case of separation or alimony divorce is on. The wife can still claim permanent alimony even if the marriage is later found to be void in accordance with the Hindu Marriage Act. So this in itself is a very big judgment by the Supreme Court today.